Hi, my name is Aviva Bel'Harold, and if you haven't heard of my book, Safe, then you need to. It's about a 15-year-old girl who tries to commit suicide and a ghost that stops her. Mariah had nothing to live for, a neglectful mother, an abusive brother, and she's bullied mercilessly at school. And she's tired of it all. She's been tired of it all for months, perhaps years. And I know there's a lot of people out there that feel that way. Only the world had other plans for Mariah. So on the very night that she decided that this was it and she was going to put an end to it, she took a handful of pills and a tumbler of vodka down to her room, only she was stopped. I stopped just as I was about to walk in. I stopped because someone was sitting on my bed, a boy. He sat there silently looking down at his hands. He wore a black shirt with washed out black jeans. He had short brown hair gelled up in spikes. If the situation had been any different, I might have laughed at how out of place he looked against my pink floral bedspread. Instead, I froze. I was so startled to see someone in my room, I almost spilled the vodka. This is my room, my sanctuary. What was this stranger doing in my space? I steadied myself and my grip tightened around the pills. I was determined. Nothing was going to sway me from my plans. What are you doing here? My voice shook. I was sure he was one of my brother's friends. He continued to sit silently, slowly looking up at me. This is my room, not my brother's, I said, and I was shocked to hear the cutting edge of my tone. He flinched at my voice, but he didn't budge. Get out! I hissed through clenched teeth, with such rage that my glass shook. When he still didn't respond, I finally said in defeat, Who are you anyways? His voice was so quiet I wasn't sure I heard it right. When I didn't react immediately, he repeated himself, and though his voice was louder, it sounded hollow, as though he were speaking through a tunnel. Toby. Well, Toby, I said, hardly restraining my contempt. As I already said, this is my room. If you're looking for my brother, he's not here, but his room's across the hall, and you're welcome to wait there. He just sat there and stared at me. He had brown eyes that were the color of chocolate milk, and it made him look dark and passionate. I was becoming unnerved and started to wonder if he knew what was in my glass or noticed how tightly I held onto the pills hidden in my other hand. What are you doing here? I finally screamed out, irritated to have this disruption from an unwelcome guest. I had a life to finish. After an turning, during which he seemed to be taking notice of everything in my room, from the stuffed unicorns to the miniature glass figures, to the note I had left face down on my desk. He looked down at his hands and answered in that same faraway voice, I'm not sure. Then leave, I demanded, and stood to one side of the door so he could get by. Instead, he just sat looking down at the floor. Why wouldn't he leave? I took several steps towards him and started yelling, Get out! Get out! Get out! Over and over and over again. But all he did was look at me and shake his head. I don't think I can, he finally said. And this time his voice seemed to lose some of its hollowness. I took another step in his direction. Now I was only a foot from where he sat. His gaze was unblinking. You see, I think I'm dead. My book is available at Chapters, Indigo, and Kohl's all across Canada, or you can look me up on my website, www.AvivaBel'Harold.com. I look forward to seeing you.